Hello, welcome to the Gables Lace and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. How's it going? Pretty good here. I took today off because I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I am now recording my podcast a little earlier than I was going to, but hey, go with the flow. Now, today I am just going to be talking about some of the progress I have made on my whips. Tallulah is essentially playing with something I already talked about in a different recording. Oh, she got caught. But that will come out later because I won't have time to record during the week of Thanksgiving break. And she loves these little cherry tomatoes I made. And that's like a little incentive to watch that podcast when it comes out. So, onward and upward. I do not have any finished objects. I have started to finish a blocking. I'm just going to give it to her. She'll leave this stuff alone. So, I'm making an upcycle alpaca blend. It's a Knit Picks yarn. It's a mixture of alpaca. Actually, this is that same yarn but in a different color. This is the cherry sweater. I'm not going to stand up because I don't feel like it. And it is a pattern from this book by Sandus Garn. They don't make these books anymore, but sometimes you can still find them online. I learned about this book from APT Atelier, Anna from APT Atelier, or Knitting Traditions, Inga from Knitting Traditions. And I've seen it on other podcasts as well. It's called the Cherry Genzer or the Cherry Sweater. It has 3 sizes. It's supposed to be very oversized, and I thought I mixed up and I put it off to the side, and then I forgot. You know how that is. So I think I cast on for the largest size here, but then I thought, oh no, it's going to be too big. And then I did the medium size here, and then I go, oh no, it's going to be too small. And then I added a whole bunch of stitches in this area. You can kind of see it ripple. And I think I did too many because this was one of the first things I worked on with this yarn, the Upcycle Alpaca Blend Sport Weight. It has acrylic, wool, and alpaca, and it stretches. I did not understand how much it would grow, and I have not worn this to work because I kind of feel like I'm wearing a sack instead of like a sweater. I'm just wearing something like it's too big. It was a really fun process knit until I got to the underarms, and then it just became massively big. But there is a split hem here, which I like. I learned how to do the fold over cuffs, which was super easy. I thought it was going to be really difficult, but it wasn't. So she sees my yarn tail. So I am making out of this book a cardigan, a set-in sleeve cardigan with a crew neck, and I do 1x1 rib for the hemline, and I'm using a US 4. I block the back. So this is the back piece. It still curls in on itself because it's stockinette stitch. It's just a simple dark gray. The color is titanium. They do not carry the sport weight anymore, only the worsted. I looked on their site recently because they were having their 2 for $6 sale, which I think today is their last day. And there's I knew it was coming, but I never remember like what day it's coming, and I'm not a Knit Picks affiliate anymore, so I don't get early knowledge. And I was looking, I know it always happens in the beginning of November. So I was like looking at my emails, and then on Monday, it was like 3-day only. I may have bought some yarn for $2 a skein, because I can always find a really good deal. So this has turned out quite nice. It is a little airy. It didn't really stretch too much. I am doing the stitch count for the 42-inch bust pattern, and I'm doing the length of the 40-inch bust pattern. So in this book, I've showed this many times. You can find these on Amazon as well, or thrift books or whatever. It's a spreadsheet book. So you find your size, you do a gauge swatch, you find that size of yarn. Like for me, I don't even know which one I'm on here. Oh, this is a saddle shoulder pattern. This yarn is 6 stitches per inch, and then I just follow those amounts. And I just finished my first sleeve. So I thought, I'm going to start blocking my pieces. I'm going to fold this up where she can't snag it with her long claws. No, we do not declaw our cats. I did declaw 2 of my cats a long time ago because of living in rentals, and that's what they required at the time in the 90s, but I do not do it anymore. I try to trim her nails sometimes, but then she gets attacked by the other cat who will bite the crap out of me, so I don't trim her nails ever. Now I am using my Knit Picks, what do you call them? Reflections needles. I bought all this myself. Knit Picks never paid me for any of this, just FYI. I do like the needles quite a bit. Right now I'm using the lace size. It's a 2.5, US 2.5, or is it 3 millimeter? Am I correct? I do not remember. These are really nice. Yeah, 3 millimeter. So I actually had to take these away from a different project to make the cuff. The good thing about this book, which, you know, you can just follow the basic pattern and whatever, or you can make a little bit of modifications. Like, it's an older style book, so they want you to have a traditional 2.5 or 3-inch cuff. Well, I don't want a 3-inch cuff. I want an 1.5 inch cuff. You can do that. You just follow the amount of size that you'll need all together. It really makes a difference. She is playing with my toy. So anyway, you can just make modifications. You just have to maintain the length that you need. So whatever it is, get to that point, and then all is good. So let's see here. This is the first sleeve. I kept all the pins. A couple podcasts ago, I mentioned how I wasn't paying attention, and the first, I don't know, first 5 or so down here, these pins, they're not even. I have like one that's 8 rows between, another one that's 3 rows between. You know, I made some mistakes. So I just kept them in there so I can focus on the next size, the next sleeve, and do it the exact same. It's not a mistake if you make it part of the pattern. So for example, I'm just going to try and hold this. Here's the sleeve. So I have a 1.5 inch cuff, 1 by 1 rib, and then I just went up, and once I did a lifeline right at the armhole decreasing, so I could just, you know, measure to make sure. It's a lot easier using a lifeline than pins. And once I got to this decrease area, it went so quick. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to finish it. You know, I'm just going to finish it. And now I'm starting the second one, and I'm going to start blocking the other pieces, because it does take quite a while for them to dry. I have to hide it from the cats because I don't want them needing my stuff or, snagging things, which they do because they do. So I have more than enough yarn to finish. I have decided I'm going to do a 1x1 rib collar as well as button band. I do plan on using buttons for this. I haven't picked those out yet. So there you go. I took these needles off the next project I'm going to talk about. And that next project is the Sailor Swift top by Kuko Kavika, or Veronica Lindbergh, otherwise known as. She has, I think she even did a tutorial on YouTube about it. And I've seen other people make it. I wanted a simple tank top. And I put the stitches on hold. So I just used my little stitch holders that come with the needles. And I did get it in the round. I added more stitches around the, what do you call them, armholes. I wanted to be more form-fitting on top, but my top is smaller than my middle. And so I thought I would make the top and then increase for the middle. So that's what I did. I did tear out the front, what you call this, collar opening. I don't really want her chewing on that, but she's so far away. Hi. Don't destroy it. Anyway, I put too many stitches for the neckline. Anyway, I put too many stitches. I then ripped that out, redid it, and only added 4 more stitches from the, I can't remember which size pattern I'm doing. So I was doing the smaller size. I added 4 more stitches to that stitch count, and then I figured out how much I would need to add for the next larger size. I figured that out, and then I just added it down here. So far so good. This yarn has never made my hands tired until I started working in the round. I like knitting and purling. I like going back and forth. I like the way that it makes my hands feel. It's just, I don't mind purling at all. I am an English style knitter. I am teaching myself to continental just for quickness on certain things, but I don't really do it for garments because I want consistency. So far so good. Once the needles get off of my cardigan, I will then put them back on here. And then I found that if I do 3 rounds, my hands get tired. So my plan is just to do a couple rounds, or I only have 10 minutes, a little bit here, a little bit there. Right now, those little 10-minute time periods or 15-minute time periods are being used for dishcloths, which I will talk about in a little bit, but it is going well. My cat is obsessed with this yarn, literally obsessed with this yarn. I'm using Patton's Linen in the color Goldenrod and Sweet Potato. I had started using this yarn for something else and ripped it out, and I'm glad I did because this pattern is really, really looking nice. Patton's Linen is a discontinued yarn. It is a mixture of cotton and linen. I really like it. It is getting my hands tired in the round, but I will admit, even wool yarn will make my hands tired in the round. So let's put this down here. And then, where did I get it? Okay. I mentioned Knit Picks having their $2 for $6 sale. I did put it in my community tabs post because it's such a good time to stock up on yarn. They do have good yarn. I was an affiliate member for a while. It has nothing to do with them when I quit. it had everything to do with the affiliate company. Long story short, it was share sale. It got bought by AON. I couldn't figure anything out. They lost some of my information. The website was convoluted. It was too much of a hassle for me, and I just didn't want to do it. So that's why I stopped. But they did have the summer carpet beetle scare, but I have never seen any evidence of any carpet beetle in any of my yarn. As you know, I keep a lot of my yarn in plastic bags and then in bins, so I have not seen it. The yarn that I got at that time of that scare, I put in plastic bags, put it in a bin, and I've never seen any sign of any bug at all. And I don't like bugs. I'm sure, like many people, I don't want bugs in my stuff, and I don't want bugs in my things, and I don't really want bugs in my house. Period. So it's not like I'm like, oh, it's fine if there's just a little. No, I don't want bugs. So during their 2 for $6 sale, I learned that they were having this is the color Pool, and it's their palette yarn, which is a fingering weight. It's a 2-ply. It's Peruvian Highland wool. I love it. I love this. I love palette yarn so much. I have another one coming, but my one cardigan that I made is super soft. Okay, so this is the second cardigan. The first one, it's off in another room, but this is my first panel. This is the back of another, what do you call it? Another cardigan using the palette camel twist. They have something similar like this on their site, but it's not the same name. Once this washes, it blooms beautifully. It's soft. It doesn't have a scratchiness to it at all. Like right now, I don't know why I have this pin here. Right now, I am wearing the Upcycle Alpaca Blend. This is the color Squirrel, which is a beautiful yarn. It's brown, but it has pinks and reds, and it's just gorgeous. However, right around here on my shoulders, I must be very sensitive. Or is the fibers that they used left over from other projects? Because when I'm using the Upcycle yarn and I'm feeling it in my fingers, it feels luxurious. It feels so wonderful. But I do get this prickliness on the back of my shoulders, and I don't know if I'm just sensitive or what. But I love palette yarn, and it is a fingering weight, so it does take time to knit up. And I put this one on hold to finish my Upcycle one first. Oh yes, no. So they had a bunch of their palette on sale for $2 a skein, which I think, I looked it up and I was gonna tell everybody, but it doesn't really matter. But essentially, I think I got like $3.50 off per skein. I think that's what it was. It's a great time to stock up. I bought more Pool. So I thought at first, who cares, right? Who cares if they're different? It's a unique statement. And then I'm like, but I kind of do care. And then I'd say, no, you don't. Well, who cares? It's a wrist warmer. It doesn't have to be perfect. How else are you going to know which is which? And then I was like, but I kind of want them to match. So I decided, when I was looking at yarn on Knitpicks, that I'd buy some more Pool, because I have quite a bit of orange here. And now I'm going to redo I had started the second one. I was going to do orange with a little bit of blue, but I didn't even know if I had enough of this blue. But now I'm going to restart, and I'm going to frog this part. I'm kind of nervous. I'm going to frog this part and pick up the stitches. I'm really nervous, to be perfectly honest. I don't even know if I can do it. But I'm going to frog it. I'm going to pick up the stitches however I can. I'm just going to believe I can. Because sometimes you just have to do it and believe that you can do it. And then, oh, well, look, I did it. So this yarn is nice because it does hold its shape. So if you are gentle and don't pull, you know, like I have I call them cat tongue tip fingernails or fingertips. I get really dry in the winter and I have like little roughness to the tips of my fingernails or fingertips, not fingernails, fingertips, washing dishes, etc. Anyway, so I'm going to unpick this and maybe I can fix it so it's not so wonky and do it in the blue like it matters, and because it matters to me. And then I'm going to undo this. In fact, I'm just going to do it now. I'm going to undo this one. And then the first one, I used size US 0, and I got 19 stitches per inch. This is US 1, and I'm going to do the second one in that just to see if I can get more gauge. Gauge is supposed to be 17 stitches per 2 inches. So we'll see. I'm going to do this right now because I really wanted orange flowers. That was one of the reasons why I bought more pool. Besides, I like it. They did have orange, but they did not have orange on sale. And I wasn't buying anything that wasn't on sale. I did buy a couple sweater quantities of $2 yarn, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Some of it was so last year I partook in the same sale that they had, and they had Wool of the Andes tweed on sale. Only one of the colors was, I know one of them was discontinued, and I think they still have the other color, but that color was not on sale. So if they had like that one on sale, I would have bought it, but they didn't. And I've been wanting to make the stripe hype sweater by Kukukavika, Veronica Lindbergh, for a really long time. But I wanted it to be out of that tweed yarn. And the tweed yarn, I mean, I do have other yarns, but the thing about the stripe hype sweater is that it's sometimes I think the busyness of the different stripes for every color is good for certain styles. I like the style of the sweater. I just wanted it to be at most 3 different colors. And the 2 colors I have, which I thought were enough of a contrast, are very low in contrast. So I bought a 3rd color to give that contrast so I can make my stripe hype sweater. I bought the pattern off of Kukukavika website, and you can also get it off of Ravelry, I know, but I bought it off of her website. So I'm going to fix my wrist warmers. I am working on my other projects. I will be receiving some yarn and working on other projects. I made 3 dishcloths so far. I'm on my 4th dishcloth. I'm always using Peaches and Cream cotton yarn from Walmart. This is their older style. I love this yarn. I love this yarn so much. It makes me happy just looking at it. It makes this beautiful, I was in the middle of a row during my doctor's appointment, so I didn't get to finish. It makes this beautiful, it reminds me of the sunrise at a change of a season. I know there's just something about the change of a season, whether it's summer going into fall or winter going into spring, where you just get this beautiful lightness to the air, the sky, and this is what it reminds me of. And every time I look at it, it's beautiful. However, I don't like using these needles with this yarn. I don't know why it feels so stiff, because when I use this on my bamboo needles, just looking here for a second. When I use this on my bamboo needles, there's just like this, when I'm doing this, it just feels like it's really stiff and hard to pull through. And with my bamboo needles, she just stole it again. So I made these cherry tomatoes. It's a crochet. I made these a long time ago. And my cat is obsessed. This is the first time she's ever seen them, and she is obsessed with them. And I will let her play with them until this podcast is over, and then they're going back into the vault, because maybe one day they will be decorations or a toy to someone, not the kitty, because I don't think she would be very kind to them. And I don't really want her to eat plastic yarn because it was made out of red heart, and red heart yarn is acrylic, and acrylic is essentially plastic. As I digress, this yarn, I mean, it's not bad, but I have a hard time doing continental stitch with these needles and this yarn because of the stiffness. Once you wash this yarn, it's really soft. But it's just something about this one versus the other ones that I get from Peaches and Cream. I don't know, but this is number 4. I'll probably finish it soon. I only have, once I finish, I really wanted to finish 5. Then I'd only have 20 left. But at this moment in time, I need to make 22. So I'm keeping track. I have until the middle of December, but I would like to get it done in November because, then I can do other things. However, I cannot tell you how happy I was reaching my goal of 25 in October and having 3 days left of the month to not knit on dishcloths and knit on other things. That's how I got my sleeve done. That's how I was able to do the wrist warmer. However, I also noticed that my practicing with continental stitching was getting really, really good. I was really getting the rowing out under control. Everything was looking more and more consistent. And just taking those 3 days off, it's like I forgot how to do it. So that is something to take note of. When you are practicing something a lot and you're working on stuff, whether it be a sweater or whatever, when you take time off, your gauge may switch. So I don't know if I'll ever wear this top out in public. This might be just a at-home top. I mean, I love it, but at the same time, I don't know if it makes me look good. I feel very burlap bag. I think my younger self would have looked really good in it. Maybe because the model in the picture, she's quite thin. So it looks really, really adorable on her because she's petite. And I was thinking, oh, how nice. Look it's a beautiful thing. maybe if I didn't add so many stitches on the inside of my arms, it wouldn't be so burlappy. I don't know. It's a very pretty top. If I do wear it, I might have to either just get used to it or wear like a top that covers my back a little bit more so I'm not like feeling the prickliness. Or maybe I'm feeling the prickliness because it's hot in my house. Even though I have the heat turned down real low, the sun is coming in and, you know, I feel prickles when I wear wool as well. And it's only when I'm hot. So maybe that is what it is. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate all the likes and comments, and I really appreciate all the views that people give me, and I really appreciate being able to share my makes online. I know it's just a simple little podcast with tidbits of here and there, but it really helps me and it would probably help others too if you decided to do it. I know when I was just watching podcasts on sewing or knitting or anything I wanted to learn, whether it's like gardening or cooking or, the gamut is huge. It gave me confidence that someone else was doing something. And if they made a mistake, how they figured out how to fix it. You know, and like one of my favorites is Lady Rebecca Fashions. She may not show you how to make stuff, but she will show you like, well, this isn't fitting right, da 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 da. And she does a lot of sewing, and she is just a wizard on how to make her things. So the rest of November is quite busy. I mentioned I pre-recorded an episode for the week of Thanksgiving because I will be super busy with appointments and working, ticket booths, and yeah, onward and upward. So I hope everyone is doing well on this beautiful fall day. I hope that you stop again, sit down and take a listen, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.